Experience podcast. I am a multi-dimensional spiritual being expressing through a human body. I'm a coach and I assist conscious people in their 20s exit the matrix and be with their soul family. So if you're interested in reaching out, you can find my Snapchat and email in the description and just send a message. And right now, we're coming to you live from Costa Rica during rainy season. And with me, I have Dennis. And please introduce yourself, Dennis.
Yes, my name is Dennis, and I assist people. I'm also a coach, and I assist people, conscious creators, connect with their soul family. And also make sure that if you're watching this video that you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And also we are accepting donations, and what we're accepting donations for is to keep this channel going, as well as to create heaven on Mother Earth. And as you can see behind us, it's raining right now, but we are building self-sustaining off-grid communities. We have the first one here in Costa Rica, and soon to be all over the world. And the way that you can donate is there will be a link in the description below. And also, if this is your first time here, I want to invite you to a transformational class tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, also 8 p.m. Eastern. It's called To And another one is, I have a masterclass every Monday at 5 p.m. Central Time called Return to Nature Masterclass. And in that we explore what it means to be a child of God and how that relates to nature. And so you're invited to that as well. And to get an invitation for that, reach out to me on Facebook. It's facebook.com/1DennisMiller.
In this video, you'll learn aspects of releasing existing belief systems. And a belief system that I had growing up was this belief system of I've got to work really hard to not work hard. And so I've got to put all this energy in, I've got to put all this time in, I've got to put all these resources in so that I can actually rest and just be and have a margarita and a joint on a beach. And what I realized is that I actually don't need to work hard for that. I can just have the margarita and the joint on a beach, and it's really simple. It's really easy. And with this belief of needing to work really hard to not work, to rest, it's a belief system. It's bullshit. And the thing with all belief systems is that they're all bullshit. And with belief systems specifically, any belief that we ever take on and express, or we actually believe it, we are such powerful creators that the beliefs that we believe within us manifest in our reality, through people, through situations, through our environment. And we're so powerful that if we believe we're not powerful, we're right. And we'll play out the belief that we're not powerful if we actually believe that. And conversely, if we believe that we're powerful and that we easily magnetize and attract the life of our dreams, the love of our life, an abundance of community, an abundance of purpose, an abundance of resources. If we believe these things, this also plays out and manifests in our lives. So, belief systems.
I resonate very much with this because for the majority of my life, I had this belief system that whatever I did, it was never enough. And so how that showed up is I was always tired, I was always stressed out, always working, and I never took time out for dentist. And so now I'm in this place of, actually I'm on today's my 4.5 day of fasting, and just in that amount of time I've gotten so much inspiration and so many like different ideas and ways of doing things that have just come through that will make the doing of what my commitment and what my covenant is, it will make it a lot lighter to take that on. So that's the space I'm in at the moment.
How are you feeling right now? Is this, you said this, okay, so before you answer that question, is this the 4th day of your fast?
Right now it's a little bit over 4 days.
Wow. And so, now what are you fasting from?
All food and all stimulants, like today and yesterday I had a little bit of honey. Today I've had like three spoonful of honey and also a little bit of salt just to stay hydrated. But other than that, I haven't had anything.
Alright, so now with that context, how are you feeling right now?
Physically, like, I feel very inspired, I feel very alive, I feel very present, and this is like the second fast that I've done like this, and this time around I have more energy than I've ever, done with the one that I did prior, and I've actually been doing a lot more activities, like physical activities, than I did on the last one. So I haven't really been sleeping that much. I feel very, very energized. I feel very connected to God, and so yeah.
So with this fasting, what was the catalyst for you? What was the belief you had before this fast, and then what changed to what belief system changed, or what altered in your perspective to go on the fast?
So I heard two questions. What changed, and the other one was what altered my perspective?
Well, first of all, what was your belief system prior to the fast? And then what altered that belief system for you to go on a fast?
I literally, I heard God tell me on Sunday to take, I've been feeling called to do a fast, and on Sunday I had a experience at a beach town at dance, they call it dance church, and I had an experience there where I literally had there was a certain music playing, and the environment, it was mildly raining outside, and I literally broke down in tears, and so I made a decision to go on a 3-day fast, and then I got inspiration 2 days into it to go on a 5-day fast. So here I am, 4.5 days in.
Alright, so was there a belief that changed, or were you just listening to God and then that's what led to this?
So I wouldn't necessarily call it a belief, and what it was, the shift that I've been experiencing is I wasn't following my commitment or my covenant before I fasted. I was actually chasing a beautiful woman that lives here in this community and putting her first rather than putting God first. So what's happened is, as a result of me fasting, is I've literally gotten 4 notes of inspiration that have come through, and I feel way more connected to God. I feel His presence on a level that I have never felt before. So it wasn't really belief; it was more a way of being.
Okay, so what was your way of being prior to the fast?
So my way of being was, here in this community I have commitments. I have commitments to provide food for this community, and also a commitment to everywhere that I go, peace, love, and self-love and abundance is, or joy, I mean. And my way of being before that, related to the commitment of providing food for this community of 25 amazing people, I was mediocre with that commitment. And during this fast, it's definitely showed up.
So you were mediocre with your commitment of providing food. Were you being mediocre in other areas of life, or was this the only area?
I was definitely mediocre, yes. In leadership and inspiration, like being at the source of inspiration, assembling teams to get things done, to complete tasks. I also noticed that I've been, like, for example, my room has kind of been in a mess for the last 3 to 4 months, and so now that I'm clearing up what's inside, I see where it's time to clean up my room as well.
Yeah, that's so perfect, because our external environment is a perfect reflection of our internal environment. And so often, like, we create these messes, and like, our outside environment can look like all stirred up and chaotic, and it's okay for a time, but then a day comes where we're like, holy shit, this is just too much. Today is cleaning day, and it's time to get some things in order here, and we just start cleaning and organizing. And before that cleaning and organizing happens on the outside, we first recognize the chaos, and then secondly, we see how it can be orderly. And we see how it can be organized, and we see how we can produce different results from organization. So it's so perfect how you spoke to now cleaning up your room because your inside is clean. It's a perfect reflection. The world is our mirror, and we don't see the world as it is. We see the world as we are being and expressing. And if we're being a shithead, everywhere we look, we're going to see shitheads. And if we're being an angry person, everywhere we look, we're going to be seeing angry people. And if we're being jealous, if we're going around being jealous of other people, everywhere we look, we're going to be seeing jealous people. If we're a judgmental fuck, everywhere we look, we're going to see judgmental fucks. If we're a peaceful person, everywhere we look, we'll be seeing peace everywhere. If we're a joyful person, everywhere we look, we'll be seeing joyful, not only people, but experiences. If we're a loving person, we'll experience love from other people. We'll experience love from contact with animals. We'll experience love by being in nature. So it's what we see is literally what we are. So when we point the finger, there's literally 3 fingers pointing back at us, and so rather than pointing the finger out there, it's very wise to just always point all the fingers in here and ask the question, how can I change? How can I shift? How can I release my beliefs? How can I gain a new perspective? How can I create a new way of being, and in doing so, create an entirely new life experience that is available from having that shift in belief, from having that new perspective, from having that new way of being.
And the new way of being for Dennis at the moment is all that inspiration that came through on my fast ties directly into what Neil spoke to earlier about the belief that I got to work really hard to not work hard. That somehow I got to really fucking work, and then at the end of this peak, there will be a time where I can just sit back and chill and relax. Well, guess what? That shit does not fucking work. I've tried it, and it does not work. I've known numerous, like a lot of people are trying. And what is the recipe for not working hard so that you don't have to work hard?
Yes. So before I go there, I want to remember this, and this belief that I've got to work really hard to not work hard. This is what retirement is. Work your whole life, and then at the end of the life, you just get to rest and relax, and now you get to reap the fruits of your labor. Bullshit. You just wasted your whole life. Why'd you work so hard all your life? Like, well, how fun was that? You worked 60 years, and now you get, 20 years of retirement, and then you die, and you're ruminating and experiencing all the things that you may have done while working so hard in the first 60 years of your life. So this belief that I've got to work really hard to not work hard, to finally rest, that's bullshit. It's a belief system. And a recipe to have a different outcome, to have a different result, is to, there's two types of people in the world. There's actually way more than that, but for right now I'm going to speak to two. And there's the beers and there's the doers. And if you're a person that just bees all the time, how you balance out your being is by doing once in a while. And if you're a person that just does all the time, how you balance out your doing is by being. You start to be some. Doesn't need to be all the time, but if you're doing all the time, there's no time for being in the doing. And so, to your question, what is a recipe to shift not working really hard to rest? The shift is to implement time for self-care, to implement time for rest, to implement time to love yourself. And Dennis, you're experiencing this right now by loving yourself, by loving your body, by loving your mind, by loving your spiritual, by fasting, doing a food fast. And this is really powerful because food is information, and so much of our day is literally wrapped up in gathering food, finding food, preparing food, eating food, digesting food. The majority of our life was spent finding, gathering, preparing, eating, digesting food.
And being lost in a sea of thought in the mind.
So when you remove food, you remove a lot of stimulus. And now that stimulus is gone, you can actually start to reflect on what's really important. Because the reality is, I don't need food. I don't need water. I don't need to take another breath. I get to experience food. I get to drink water. I get to take another breath. But honestly, I don't need to. I could just poop out right now by just holding my breath. And that's the reality. So I've gave pieces of the recipe, and now I'm going to give the actual recipe. And what the recipe is to Love yourself, take care of yourself, and then begin expressing from your being what you love and what brings you joy and what brings you connection. And this is a recipe if you want to experience love and peace and connection. If you want to experience hatred and envy and anger and jealousy, you definitely don't want to implement this recipe. But if you would like to experience love and peace and connection and community and purpose, this is a perfect recipe. And the recipe is to take care of yourself, be, and then take action from your being. And literally when you're now doing things that you love doing. So you may be working hard, but you're not working hard to get somewhere. You already are somewhere, and now you're just working. Or usually when you are somewhere, it's more of a play. And so you're working from your being, and you already are somewhere, and where you are is in a state of love. Where you are is in a state of peace. Where you are is in a state of connection. And then taking connected action, then taking peaceful action, then taking loving action. And what this produces is more connection. It produces more peace. It produces more love in your life. And then with this recipe, what manifests, what occurs, what comes into fruition is irrelevant. Because you already are somewhere, so you're not working to get somewhere. So no matter what the results are, because you're already being it, it doesn't matter. Like wherever you are, there is love, there is peace, there is connection, because guess what? I'm here and I'm bringing those things. And so now I don't need to work to rest. I'm restful, and now I'm working. And so the recipe is to take action from your being, from a place of self-care.
And if you would like to live in a community like what Neil has been describing, we have an event coming up November 17th through the 21st or the 20th here in the community that we're living in at the moment here in Costa Rica. It is therememberexperience.com, and one thing that I can promise you is broken expectations and transformation. So I just want to put that out there as well.
Links in the description. I feel complete. Where are you at, Dennis?
I feel very complete. Thank you, and I love you.